Hi everyone, it is day number 24 of the 26 Days to Greatness Challenge. Today we have letter X for X Factor Marketing with Estie Ran. Estie has built a six-figure business with $0 in ad spend in just 2 years with a fully virtual team while raising 5 kids. Oh my gosh, that is so impressive. And she's also the founder and owner of Strand Consulting, which is an LA-based boutique consultancy. She is a marketing maven who guides business owners business owners ranging from multimillionaires to freelancers on how to earn more money with less headache. So with that being said, Estie, I am so excited to have you on here. I just want to say a big thank you and a big welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to talk about X Factor marketing, that special something that just makes you stand out above the crowd, go viral, and have your business take off.
Oh, that is so important, especially for a lot of our listeners listening right now. You know, we all have this message we want to share. We all have our own unique gifts. But when it comes to marketing, like, we don't know what to do. So before we get into the X Factor marketing, Estie, would you mind letting our audience know, if they don't know who you are yet, just about your story, and let them know why they should be excited to learn from you today?
Totally. So started a little while ago, and when someone told me that no one would ever take me seriously. No one would hire me. In 2011, very beginning of the small business boom, I was actually working as the CIO of a multinational nonprofit. And I loved my boss, I loved my job, and I had flex time, which is so unusual at that level of an organization, but it was really important to me. I had 3 little kids at the time. Like you said, now I have 5. And everything was great until they hired this new middle manager. And he was toxic, like a bull in a china shop. He just came in and started breaking everything. And it got to the point where I just wasn't even a person. Like, I couldn't be a mom. I couldn't be a human. I would be crying every day. This guy was horrible. And, you know, at some point I was supposed to travel, I think it was like to Argentina or Moscow. And he like took my trip, and I'm like, hello. He's like, your team is now my team and you're my new secretary. And I just remember, I didn't say it out loud, but I was just like, no, I'm the new leaving person. Bye. And I was terrified because I was the sole supporter of our growing family at the time. My husband was still studying, and I did not know where our money was going to come from. Like, no idea. I just knew I couldn't stay there anymore. It wasn't worth it. I've always believed that you work in order to have a life. You don't sacrifice your life for your work. Yeah. And so when I left, I had this little dream. Right? I was seeing all these people trying to start businesses. Again, 2011, people coming out of the recession. Internet was, the mobile was starting to get strong enough. Things were starting to happen, which we're now in the middle of. But I wasn't so crazy as to do that full time because I had family to support, I've always run side businesses, but always on the side. And so I'm looking for a new job, meeting with headhunters. And one of the headhunters I met with was a former McKinsey consultant. And I was like idolizing her. It's like, I wanted to do business consulting. And here's this business consultant who's running this like headhunting thing from her house. I'm like, I just want to be you. Like, I'm running a business from my house. I could be there with my family. And at some point during the interview, she looked at me and she's like, Estie, I have these jobs for you and I'll send you on this one and this one. But like, let's be honest, what's the dream? What do you really want to do? So I'm like, I'm going to confide in her. Like, she's going to help me. She's going to guide me. I'm like so excited. And I tell her, I want to do small business consulting. I see all of these people, I'll sit in a cafe and I'll be sitting next to a woman and her friend and I'll be like, I'm going to sell cupcakes for $1. She's like, oh, that's such a great idea. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are idiots. I went to business school. I have a degree in marketing. Like, you don't know what you're doing and I could help you. And like, that's my passion. There's so many people of so much talent and I just want to help them get it out there and earn money and have time for their families. And she looks at me. I'll never forget this. She goes, Estie, no one will take you seriously. No one will hire you. You need another 20 years, C-level experience before anyone pays you for your advice. Yes, I was super crushed. This person who I'm like, is obviously the expert, you know, I have no clue what I'm doing, tells me that I will fail. And I still remember coming home and standing by the window and like there's sunlight just streaming in and tears just streaming down my face. And I'm not a crier, like I'm really not, but I was so devastated. This woman took my dream and just shredded it into tiny pieces. But on the bright side, she was wrong, right? We're now over 10 years later. We are a multinational full service creative consulting firm with staff and clients in 5 time zones. We just added actually 2 time zones, so now we're in 7. Yeah, it took us only 2 years to, you know, break the 6-figure mark with 0 in ad spend. And I feel super blessed. You know, Strand Consulting, which is my company, we do marketing strategy, business plans. It's everything I wanted to do. And we have an implementation team. We do design, websites, social media. And my passion from then till now is I just want everyone to do what they love, earn buckets of money, and have time for their life and family. And I'm so excited to share the stuff that I can't say that I've learned it all over the last 10 years, but definitely refined it, practiced it, implemented it with our clients, and just give it to all of you today so that you too can shine.
Oh my goodness, Essie, that story is just like so inspirational. And I want to understand that a little bit more because like that moment is, I can't imagine how devastating it could have been for you to like look up to this woman and she told you that it was impossible. So how did you turn that around? Like how did you, you know, shift it and still went for it and build this massive successful business doing what you love? How did you do that?
So I'll be honest, like and always in these stories, like, you know, they gloss over so much. So I was very lucky to have supportive people in my life. And my husband was like, oh, forget it. And my friends were like, you know, she's old business, you're new business, she's big business, you're small business. But I took on 3 different things at the same time. Said, you know what? I'm very hard to repress, if you will. Like I kind of, you know, in some ways, I always feel like I'm successful and like to spite her. It's like, you know, I had something to prove then, if you will.
Yeah.
But I took on 3 different jobs. I worked for a business brokerage firm. I worked for the Mobile Marketing Association in sales support.
Yeah.
And I started to do this on the side. And I said, you know what? Let's see. I got jobs, you know, so like I'm okay. I didn't take any C-level positions because I just wasn't finding anything. You know, and I'm the kind of person, when you push me against the wall, I climb. So I left my job to spend more time with my children, be a person, and I wasn't finding anything that was going to give me the freedom, flexibility, challenge, and money I wanted. So I'm like, I have to do this. So I had to like piecemeal this kind of life together, which today is so standard, but go back 10, 12 years, and most people were working 1 job, not 3. Today it's like gig economy. Everyone's like, that's normal. Why? Yeah, but the world was different over a decade ago. It just was, and it slowly started to pick up. You know, I got my. I had already had 1 client before I started at that time. So, and this is important, and I have no problem sharing the full transparency of my story. I had become a certified professional coach already 2 years prior, maybe 3 years prior, and I'd already been coaching on the side. And so it had been a side project. It had been a side project, but I wasn't starting from nothing.
Okay.
I had been dabbling a little bit here and there, and I had some business, but again, nothing near enough to support us. It was a business hobby, right? Like so many of my clients who come to me. And then it started to pick up. You know, and at first I dropped the brokerage because I realized I just need direct remuneration for my efforts. Like it doesn't work for me, the whole brokerage world. And for some people, it's amazing. But I've outlined 5 entrepreneurial archetypes in one of my trainings. And, you know, one of the archetypes, the deal maker, they love this. They thrive. They'll go and they'll push and they'll deal. And, you know, they don't care that they work 15 hours and that will fall through and they work half an hour and that one comes in 10x. That made me nuts. I couldn't do it. So as it started to take off, I first dropped the brokerage. I was like, when I work, I like to get paid. I don't like to work for a billion hours for free and hope to get paid. You know, for those who it works, it's amazing. And for me, it didn't. And then I was getting so busy with the private coaching and consulting that I dropped the MMA global sales position as well. And it it's been my full-time gig ever since.
Oh my goodness. And Estie, thank you for like sharing the full transparency of your journey. I feel like a lot of times people listen to like the success stories like yours, they feel like it's just one straight path, but it obviously had those moments where you were really devastated, but you had to climb out. I love how you said that when you were pushed against the wall, you just climb. Like that was a good visual for me to really understand what that was like for you. But anyways, I am so honored to have you because it's exciting. Like when someone like you can package your years and decades of experience into this like 30 minutes interview and bless our audience with your expertise. Like I'm just so honored and grateful. So let's dive into the X Factor marketing. What makes it, you know, how do you do it? What's your secret sauce?
Sure. So there's two key components. One is the connection and the other is the communication. And I'll qualify and clarify those. So the connection is not what so many people think. People always go like, you know, connect to your audience, connect to your audience. So they design an avatar and then they try to talk to them, right? And everyone's giving out avatar worksheets and they're great. They look like, you know, little Lego people, and they go out, you can tell I have kids, and they go out and they talk to their Lego people. And that's just not, that's not what makes businesses take off, right? The connection has to be, and again, I'm going to use the word soul very loosely, okay? I do believe in a higher power, call it God, call it source, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it. We don't know how to make ourselves breathe. I don't believe the world makes sense any other way. And so there is a deeper element to all people. There just is. There's more than skin, bones, ligaments, blood cells. There just is. And when we come from that deeper place, that place of passion that you can't touch, but you can only feel, that's your essential core. You know, and when we teach it in our marketing programs, we call it the core brand. And it's like the seed of the flower. It's the DNA of the business. It's your essential why. It's more than Simon Sinek's why. It's a little bit different. He has a book, Start With Why. Excellent book. This is a little different. It is what drives you to do what you do. And once you start there, you don't design an avatar. You look for the people whose problem you solve. And not just any problem. 2 a.m. problem. Okay, so you find that essential. I'll flesh this out, but you're coming from an essential driver, something you want to bring to the universe. And if all you want to bring to the universe is, hey, I got an idea to make money, this won't work. This won't work, right?
Yeah.
We specialize in organic marketing. Organic marketing is amazing. It doesn't need to cost you a lot of money. It doesn't need to cost you any money. It does need to come from a genuine place of passion and service for a group of people who need you. A group of people who are lying awake in bed at night at 2 in the morning with a problem that you can solve. Now, people lie awake in bed at night with many problems. Yeah, they might have a fungus in their toe, be on the verge of divorce, and not be able to pay the rent. And they also, you know, have an ache in their lower back. You don't have to solve all the problems. Maybe you just solve the lower backache problem. Yeah, maybe you specialize in chronic back pain and specifically lower back. And they're lying awake in bed at night with that problem. You don't have to address them all. You got to address that one in their language.
Okay.
This is the key to connection, right? Talk about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and there's so much deeper wisdom. Again, we have entire programs to teach these things. I'm kind of condensing it into this tiny bit, but I want to make sure everyone, all of you, walk away with practical, applicable value, how to use this. So I'm going to break it down. When you do this connection, your people become addicted. Your people talk about you. They share it. They become your promoters because they know you're here for them. They know you're solving their problem. This is the kind of thing that has friends calling friends, like, you're not going to believe what I just saw. You know? And it could be as simple, and it's so hard, you know, so many examples that I could have given you 6 months ago. It's like, will that ever be an example again? You know, let's say the person's biggest problem is getting a fast manicure. I want to be super girly, shallow, but like, I believe that is a real concern. Okay.
It is. Yeah.
I like my manicures. I saw a meme the other day, and it was an image of a nail salon, and it said, the only 3 words I want to hear, pick a color.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So let's say someone has, they desperately need a manicure for an event, they're traveling and they don't know how they're going to fit it into their schedule. And you have a business that provides on-demand manicure services, sends people to houses. And again, in the current situation, I don't know yet when that's going to be viable again. But perhaps by the time this is aired, it will be viable. It's so hard to know as the world turns. You are solving their problem. And that might be a 2 a.m. problem. Now, someone who just wants their nails done on a random Sunday, that might be a 2 p.m. problem. Hey, I want to get my nails done. People pay less for a 2 p.m. problem, right? They pay more as the night wears on. They're willing to pay more. Price becomes less of a factor. When it's a 9 p.m. problem and then an 11 p.m. problem and a 1 a.m. problem, by the time you hit 2 a.m., they don't even care. They're traveling, they're so busy. You're like, we can do on demand at home, come to your door. Manicures, it's 3 times the price of the nail salon. They're like, great, I don't care. I don't care. People said they're so concerned about price. Price is not a factor when you got that X factor. And the X factor is not just what you bring to the table. And a lot of people think, well, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. On demand manicures, you can tell how nail deprived I've been. You're not wrong. This is an amazing idea for the right person who has that problem. So people go out and like, this is amazing. Hey, I've got a great avatar. She's female. She's in her 20s. She likes to get her nails done. Let's tell her about this. And she's like, oh, it's too expensive. And then people go back and they're like, oh my God, everyone thinks my thing is too expensive. I don't know if it'll ever work. I don't know how to do it. You miss that piece. The X factor piece is the connect. And it's not talking to your Lego avatar. It's connecting the service you bring to someone who suffers a significant problem that you solve. And I purposely brought out this nail example because it can be something as quote unquote shallow as that. People think it's got to be that, it's a chronic pain issue or it's a deep psychological problem, financial worries. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It can be anything with healthful eating. Again, the right avatar is concerned enough about this. And again, the later you go in the evening. So if you can't get a 2 a.m., go for a 9 p.m. It's still better than a 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is like, I'm hungry, I want a snack, I'll get something for $1 or $2. 2 a.m. is like, I don't care what Postmates charges to deliver this from the 24-hour burrito place. I want food now.
Yeah.
And that's
This
different.
is so funny. Yeah, as you were explaining that example, I totally relate. Like there were moments or times when like I have a broken nail and like you said, it might be shallow, but it's not fun when you have a broken nail and you can like do stuff. And that is like a pain that I would pay to get rid of that pain. And I just love how this is so applicable to literally any service, like anything. As long as we have the right person with the right problem that we are solving, we could use this to market to them. I love that.
Totally. I don't want to make it super practical because that's just how I work. So I know that, all of you are sitting there going, okay, great, I get it. How do I do it? Like, thanks a lot. I get it. Do you love that when like someone teaches you something, you're like, I get it. Now, how do I do that? They're like, just fix that thing. You're like, yeah, okay. How do I fix that thing? So to find your essential why, we have 2 different ways to find your core. But I'm just going to give you the one that I find the easiest, which is to literally sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, top of the page, write the word why. And then you just say, why do I want to do this? And you answer it. Why does it matter? Why do I care? And you keep, and then, when you start to kind of get a pattern of answers, you ask why on the answers, So let's say I'll give my own example. I have a very strong client privacy clause with our private clients. So I'll never divulge details. My own examples are always the easiest. So let's say the core of my brand, I get to myself, Estie, why do you do this? Why did I get into this? And I told you, I want everyone to do what they love, earn buckets of money, have time for their life and family. But that's long. It's big. Like, what's my essential why? What drove me to start this? So I'll say, well, I saw all these people starting businesses. I knew it could help. Okay, why? Why did I know I could help? Because I've done this before. Why did you do it before? Well, because I was limited on resources and I wanted the security of knowing I can make my own money. Why? Well, because I came from, you know, kind of an abusive background and I was always afraid no one would take care of me. Why? Well, that was just the truth. Okay. Why? Because money really solves problems. The ability to make your own money solves them more. And like you go deeper and deeper until you get to a point. And for me, when we got here, it's kind of this essence of more for less. People who are lacking, who feel tight, who feel afraid, and this is so relevant today, and who feel out of control and want to be able to do the thing they love and be able to rely on that for an income, and they don't have a lot of resources and they need to do more with less time, energy, money. This is why I'm here. And you find your why, and you know you've gotten there when you can't ask why on it anymore. Like when I say, like, I want to bring people, you know, business success with less investment, and it's why, it's like, because there is nothing deep, like that is it. You found your why. Now you got to go and say, okay, who wants my why? Who wants my why? Like, who needs this? And so for me, it was specifically micro businesses. Right? I went after specifically micro businesses. I began specifically with people who were talented, who just didn't have business skills. Obviously, we've since expanded, but you want to start with one audience. Most people look at business like they serve everyone, everything, you know, and every business started somewhere. Starbucks was one little coffee shop in Pike Place Market in Seattle. Amazon was a bookstore run out of a garage. The biggest behemoths all started with one focus, one audience, one focus. And people are so afraid, like, but all the people that I'm not selling to, what about them? They'll come. Relax. Right now, worry about the people whose problem you really solve, because then you can grow from there. Then you can, again, those people become your evangelists. Can you imagine, you know, scenario with the broken nail, and you're talking to a friend and you're like, yeah, I got this broken nail. I don't have time to go anywhere. I don't know what to do. And I'm so busy. She's like, oh my God, I had this most amazing thing. I saw it said that they'll come to your house. It's more expensive, but they'll come and they'll just do it for you. You're like, oh my God, tell me about it. And then you do it. And the next time you're talking to someone, you don't even wait till they ask you, right? You call your friend. You're like, you're not going to believe this cool thing that I found today. It was expensive, but it was so worth it. They fixed my nail. It was amazing. And suddenly that company doesn't have to do any marketing. Everyone's doing it for them. Because they solve the problem for that group. So this nail place that might have just focused on this, you know, great little female, you know, young manicure avatar, is instead focusing on busy professionals. Busy female professionals. They're figuring out the other kinds of services these professionals might access, such as clothing delivery services and meal delivery, so they have an easy way to target them. And then once you're in the door and you solve their problem, they spread it for you. So you find the avatar by sitting first and honestly just thinking, yeah, it's like a little bit of brain work, you know, and you could get a mastermind together. I'm not going to go deep into what that looks like, but let's just call it a brain trust of friends, colleagues, let's say unpaid for the moment. I'm not talking about the paid mastermind gigs at the moment. You speak to friends. If you are trying to target someone that you are unfamiliar with, that you don't know, so I've seen so many people who are middle class try to target high net worth individuals, and it falls flat every time because they don't know how to get into their heads. You've got to be able to get into the head of your avatar by knowing them, speaking to them. If you don't have even one friend, family member, person in your world who resembles this avatar, it's not a good one to go after, right? Often the most successful businesses are businesses that target essentially themselves. Right? They're solving a problem they personally suffered with.
Right. So Estie, I want to, if you don't mind, I have a question. I want to jump in. So like you said, get into the heads of my avatar, and it would be helpful to have someone like that in our lives. But like, I think you were going into that already. But could it be like my own experience, like my own journey? Like I know exactly how I felt when I was going through that pain. So really getting in there and remember what
100%.
that's like.
100%. You just have to make sure, and it very seldom is an issue that the market's too small, right? Every once in a while, you know, someone might be like, you know, I was walking and I got this thing in my shoe and I was not available to this, and none of the regular tools were able to take it out. So I've invented this very special tool to take things out of your shoe when you're on a hike and you're gone for 3 hours. It's like, that might be a little too niche. You know, you could really feel the pain of that thing, but it's a little too niche to really have enough of a market value. So that's why the brain trust is helpful, because people in your world will be able to tell you, yeah, like that's a great solution for a problem that 5 people on the planet might have.
Okay, that makes total sense. Got it.
So that's piece one. That's your connecting piece. Your connecting piece is not something anybody sees. And when people talk about marketing, they're so often talking about the piece of marketing they see, and there's so much of marketing that goes on underground. You know, we teach organic marketing with a graphic organizer I designed. It's a look of a flower. You know, this seed is planted. You know, it creates the growth of everything, but it's planted. And so this connection piece, no one necessarily sees it. It influences everything you do. It influences what you sell and how you sell it and what you charge for it and where people access it. It influences how you promote it, influences everything. But this work is done underground, and that's the connection piece. Your essential why connected to someone else's, enough someone else's to sustain your business 2 a.m. problem. So that's the connection piece. Now, you say to me, okay, I get it. Now, how do I tell those people that I got the answer to their problem, Estie? So you're like, this is underground. That's great. I want to see my flowers. It doesn't help me that I plant and I see dirt. I see dirt. I want to see my flowers. And so that's where the communication piece comes in. Okay, because virality really does have the 2 pieces. It has the piece that you never see, which is that essential connection of solving someone's problem in a way that they really need, that you do uniquely, and the way you want to express it. So that X factor, virality, people spreading, is with a dichotomous statement. Okay, juxtaposing opposites. One of my favorite examples of this was actually an early podcast guest of mine. They're called Wave Car. They're based out in Santa Monica. It's an amazing startup. Really, really cool. It's like, I think in the single-digit episodes, we're already like, you know, over episode 100. It's like way, way back. My podcast is over 2 years old. Business Breakthrough, for those of you who want to check it out. And they run a, I think his tagline describes it best, right? We waive the fee, you drive for free. Think about free cars.
That's so simple.
Right? That's so simple. And you're like, and again, it catches your attention. You're like, cars aren't usually free. How does that work? Right? Like, so, and people get very stuck on the tagline. So I just want to be clear. I'm not explaining taglines here. Taglines are optional, right? They're like the sprinkles on the icing on the cake. The cake can be amazing. You can even ice it. You might never put sprinkles. Nothing will happen. Like, it still works. It's not necessarily the tagline. It's the messaging. Yeah. So this happens to be their tagline, but the way they do it actually is they put ads on the cars. That was the original concept. And in the end, he had this incredible story to listen to the show. It was so cool how they ended up striking a deal with a huge car company that supplies the cars in order to get the intelligence, their electric cars. So they charge them. So you don't have to pay anything. You get them for about 2 hours at a time. And then they have different expanded options, and they've expanded since then. But launching a service like that in a city, you know, like LA, Santa Monica, where so many people don't have cars, it isn't worth it for them to retain a car, kind of cities that Uber launched in as well. You're really solving someone's problem, and then you're saying, hey, it's free. So you're coming in, you're solving the problem, and then you're communicating that with a almost inherently contradictory statement. So that is the essence of the communication. You want to sit down and you want to think, how can I communicate the incongruity? You know, and one of the ways, again, super practical, you can kind of frame this is, here's how you get what you want without the thing you don't want, right? Here's a car without paying money.
So it kind of gets people to think, even from that statement alone, like it's counterintuitive.
Exactly.
So they want to know, like, how.
It gets their attention.
Yeah.
It gets their attention. And, you know, you think about some of the most viral brands that people just spoke about, like, I love Zoom. I love Zoom. And Zoom now is, you know, a household term, right? People Zoom. It's become a verb, almost like Uber. Like, I'm going to Uber there. Okay, let's Zoom, you know, and it's become the verb for video conference, if you will. I was using, my kids are like, Mommy, did you know Zoom before? Like, they're in Zoom school, right? Like, we literally call it Zoom school now. I'm like, honey, I've been using Zoom for 3 years, okay? But Zoom grew mostly organically. Yeah, they had ads plastered all over every airport, but even before that, because their service was so great, it was high-level video conferencing free. And you're like, 1 second, this is better than the other stuff that I pay for, much better than the other free stuff, light, easy to use, and people would just tell each other about it. You know,
Right.
WhatsApp, like before Facebook bought it, why was everyone using WhatsApp? Because everyone was using WhatsApp. It was great. And what was incongruous about it, it was a chat app at a time when you couldn't necessarily text cross area codes, countries, you know, unless you had a BlackBerry. WhatsApp was the first, you know, cross device, cross country chat app. And that was very incongruous to people. It's like, wait, I mean, I don't have to, and I'm dating myself here, right? But you didn't have to have a BlackBerry, and you could text people without paying any money that weren't in your country. And it was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's so incongruous. It's like, I could do that. That incongruity, that taking something that I want, right, to be able to be in touch with family and friends around the world, without something I don't want, paying crazy fees or having to have a BlackBerry. It's really good.
So Estie, so are we coming up with that statement based on our why and the who?
So yes, but no. The why and the who is the underpinnings, right? It's the foundation. You build your house on top of the foundation. You don't build it out of the same cement the foundation's made of.
Right, right.
So your statement stands on it. So your statement needs to communicate to the who, your essential why, but not necessarily in those words. And another great way to find it is just to figure out the language that your person's using at 2 a.m. So if it was you, you could think of what you yourself, go look at your old WhatsApps, right? Figure out what you were texting your friends at 2 in the morning that you were suffering from. You know, I had a horrible, it's so funny, I just think of things that are probably outside. We went hiking the other day. They opened up the hiking trails in LA. Yay, we're allowed outdoors again. Oh. And my youngest is almost 3. I didn't realize he was so tired. We're like 40 minutes more up the mountain. We start heading back down, and he is done. For anyone with kids, you know, when your 2.5-year-old is done, they're done. He's like, I'm crying. I'm like, why are you crying? He's like, 'cause I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God. You know, he's like, I want my crib. It's like, okay, you're done. And I carried him 45 minutes down the mountain. So at some point at around 11 p.m., my entire back started spasming. It was like, you know, you weren't quite equipped for that one. That it's 11 p.m., but it's a 2 a.m. problem. I would have done anything, paid anybody, anything to make my back work again. And I reached out to a friend of mine, you know, and my language was like, my back is spasming. I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? And apparently this is a very cool method called the Egoscue method. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but like for any of you who have spasming back pain, you like lay on your back with your legs in front. It's like this whole thing. You can research it. And he shared it with me. Now, if that thing had cost money, I would have paid for it. No question, right? But it's basically, you know, 20 minutes to ease any back spasm.
Wow.
And there you go, right? You're like, thing I want without thing I don't want. Fix my back pain without a lot of time or chiropractor visit or whatever.
Right.
That's how you craft your messaging. Again, that wasn't their messaging. It was just passed to me from a friend. But you know the question of the person, which is, fix this fast. Okay, I got you. I can fix this fast. Right?
Got it.
People, back pain, it doesn't get fixed fast, right? Chronic back pain is like a very normal term to hear. It's the kind of thing you're like, oh my gosh, my back's going to hurt forever. You know, and you really do this for 20 minutes. And I was like a normal person again. It's like, this is the coolest thing ever.
So it worked in 20 minutes.
It did work. It really worked. It really worked in 20 minutes. You just lie there. You feel like an idiot for 20 minutes because you're lying in the weirdest position, but it just, gravity works your spine out, that it kind of falls back into place. It's very cool. Yeah. And so business like that would go out there with the messaging, you know, 20 minutes erases your back pain. And whatever it is, and again, mine's a very minor situation. Any of you who are listening, if you have severe or moderate, this is not the example. I was very clear with what my example was. I don't know enough about it. No health coach in me, like disclaimer, 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 you know, fine print, sign at the bottom. But to understand the marketing for such a thing, that's what you would look for. Right? And if you want to find the avatar for that might not be, again, I have no idea if it works for chronic or not. Mine was a very isolated incident, but you might look for people who doing outdoorsy activities, the kind of people who would have a quick stray and be like, I don't know what to do. You know, you might target people who are searching chiropractor, you know, lower back spasm, all that kind of stuff, you know, fix my back, any of these things. And you come at them with the message of 20 minutes and you're all better. And you're like, okay, that gets my attention. I'll check that out. Right? Because you've got to get your audience's attention to solve their problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the language they use, which is fix this fast, I'm dying, is the language you want to use to tell them you solve the problem. And that really is it. It isn't more complicated than that. It's the connection, it's communication.
Estie, this is great. So my question would be like, once we get that messaging piece down, is this something that it's kind of like your keynote speech or whatever? Like, is that what you carry with you consistently across like all your content, like emails or social media posting? Is that what you would consistently use, that messaging?
Yeah, you would. Okay. And if you look at any of the big brands, any of the big influencers on any online platform, look at them for a couple days straight. Like, just study them. You'll see they're extremely repetitive, extremely repetitive. They have found a message that works, and they say it again and again and again and again and again. You know, so many new businesses think they've got to say all the different things that they do and help their audience. And really, you might need to that in the beginning until you find the thing that really resonates with people, and then just go all in on it. You might say it in slightly different words and slightly different language. Maybe you'll put different colors on the background. You know, sometimes you'll say it jumping up and down. Sometimes you'll say it facing backwards. It doesn't matter. But yes, that becomes your main communication, whether it's a tagline or it's ad copy or it's your verbal sales pitch or it's the essential topic of your keynote speech. There are so many different places because, again, I'm not giving you exact language, the core of your messaging. If you want to build virality, right? You want to get people talking. First thing, you got to get their attention, and incongruity gets our attention. When we see something that doesn't make sense, right? Our brain has a little snap. I read psychology books for fun. I think they're marketing textbooks, you know? So part of how the human brain works is it has to close loops. Things have to make sense. So when you come at the human brain with a dichotomous concept, right? Something that doesn't look like it goes together, the brain's like, wait, what was that again? That didn't match, you know? And then if that then solves the person's problem, it gets them to go deeper. It's the start. It's the start, and it's also the line that people can use to share. Like, you saw how easy it was for me to share the example of Wave Car, of my imaginary chiropractor guy. When it's so clear and it's so clean, people also know what to say for you. And this, again, the X Factor marketing is where the audience becomes your unpaid marketing team, if you will. And they're happy to. They're thrilled to share it. Everyone wanted to talk about Zoom. Everyone said to everyone else, get WhatsApp. I need to message you.
Yeah.
What's WhatsApp? It's amazing. It's like text, but it won't charge us to chat with each other. Really? Okay.
Oh my goodness. I hope our listeners are really seeing how powerful everything that Estie just shared. Like, as I was listening, everything was just kind of like running through my mind. And I see that everything that you share is such a potent process. First of all, to get to know what we are here to offer, like what we can offer, that journaling exercise, the why. And it's because like I struggle with this for a really long time when I know that I want to coach, I want to support people, but I had no idea what problem I could solve. Like, I just had no idea. But doing that process alone, like, first we get to know what we can offer, and then like, who is the audience? That piece is also something that I struggle with for a long time. Like, who can I help? Who is this person? I just had no idea. But just by looking at that process, like, I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that process and get more clarity. And then the next piece is about how we can connect us and what we have to offer with those people. And once we get those two things down, it's like a no-brainer for us to start generating sales and getting clients. So, wow, Estie, that was so amazing. I just want to say such a big thank you to you for your time today. I cannot express my gratitude enough for you to come on and to share that with our listeners. And I hope they have been taking notes just like me. So, Estie, I tell my listeners this all the time. The real work happens after this interview. They gotta go do the work. There's so much more to learn from you about this X Factor marketing. So how can they find you online if they want to dive a little bit deeper and do the work with you?
Sure. So I actually have a present for them. We have again, we work with private clients. We have online programs, and we made this very cool mini marketing course. It's a $300 program that occasionally we open up for free. And I want to give everybody free access to it. So it's called the 5-Day Marketing Success Challenge, where you get the clarity and confidence to market yourself successfully. And if you guys go to estierand.com/free gift, pretty no-brainer, estierand.com/free gift, which I'm not going to spell for you because I believe in you. You can get free access to it. And we got such crazy feedback on this program. One of the times that we opened it for free, I actually got paid for it. Right? I had reached out to, I don't think I told you this story. This was an amazing story. So I built this again. I built it as a paid mini course, right? I built it very practical, very short. So it's, 5, 15, or 17-minute trainings with an accompanying 1-page worksheet for you to complete to make the exercise. I told you I'm very, very practical. And it takes you through finding that essential uniqueness, identifying your avatar's 2 a.m. problem, right? So like day 1 is finding you. Day 2 is that 2 a.m. problem with your avatar. Day 3 is figuring out how to get out there. It's the promotion piece, how to get in front of your audience for 0 investment. Day 4 takes you through social media magic, understanding the working parts of any of the social media platforms, and again, organic. And then day 5 is how to craft your verbal pitch to sell anybody. And one of the times we opened it for free, apparently this guy took it and he was so happy with it that he wanted to pay me, but he was like a little awkward, didn't want to reach out. And just so happens, I was looking for a sensory therapist for one of my kids. And I got a recommendation of a guy local here in LA, and I reached out. Hi, this is Estie Rand. I got your name as a recommendation. My kids, he's like, Estie Rand, like, like I'm David, like, let's say. I'm like, okay, I know, that's why I'm calling you. He's like, no, I took your program. I was like, okay, which program? Like, I don't always know. He's like, I guess you don't keep track of everybody that goes into it. I'm like, maybe not, I'm sorry. He's like, I just want to tell you, like, it changed my business so much, and it clarified my pitch, and it clarified, my angles. And it's so funny that you're calling me, Estie, because I wanted to pay you, but I didn't want to reach out. But if you want me to work with your son, I'll just give you a free session. I've never done that for anyone before. And he did.
Wow, that is so amazing.
It was
I
so
love
cool.
how the universe just works like that.
Yeah, that was super cool. That was super cool. It was so validated because, you make these things, and there's so many different programs online. And, we have insane retention and graduation rates. We have an 80+% graduation rate from our online group program, which is not industry average. And this challenge also, like, I get all the time messages from people, on social or emails. Estie, I just want to let you know, like, I did the challenge and this is what happened for me. And I'm just like, I save them all, like, for my hard days, I just go through that. But I want to gift you guys with this 5-day challenge the clarity and confidence to market yourself successfully from an organic perspective and find that X factor. So estierand.com/free gift, estierand.com/free gift. People forget the E sometimes. I don't know why. They do.
Wow. Estie, I want to say thank you again for that generosity. I am sure everyone who jump on this, and they all should, it's really going to take, it's going to change the business. So I want to say a thank you on behalf of my listeners. I'm going to do that 5-day challenge myself. And everyone else, I hope you enjoyed this. We only have 2 more days left in this challenge. So I will see you guys tomorrow on day 25. Okay, thanks, Estie.
Pleasure.
Bye.